Good evening, good morning, good day. Welcome to the sixth session of the Afghan Association of Ontario program on Islamophobia, racism, and discrimination. Wherever you are, we welcome you to this program. This program is an initiative of the Afghan Association of Ontario and is prepared in collaboration with the Government of Canada. And the Government of Canada is partially funding this program. In this program, we bring subject matter experts to interview on issues of racism, discrimination, and Islamophobia. We also bring occasionally members of our community who want to share their experiences with racism, discrimination, and Islamophobia. Today, our guest is Akbar Bayat, who is the Vice President of the Afghan Association of Ontario and has played a major role in initiating this program. So, Mr. Bayat, welcome to our program.
Thank you, Mr. Drone. First of all, I express convey my salams and respect to the community and also to your audience that they are watching us live or later on they're listening to the recorded YouTube program.
Thank you very much. I would like our viewers to support us by doing a few things. Item number one is to get engaged with us through your comments and insights, sharing your insights. And the second one is to share this program on your social media pages so that many more people, not just in the Afghan community, but in other immigrant communities also become aware of this triangle of evil, which I refer to as a triangle of evil, that is racism, discrimination, and Islamophobia, or a broader word for it is hatred. And the hatred could be against Muslims, it could be against the Jewish people, against minorities, against races, etc., and things like that. So to cut this situation short and to bring our guest into the conversation, Mr. Bayat, I will appreciate if you could say a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. As you introduced me, my name is Akbar Bayat. My family name is Bayat. I graduated from the High School of Habibia in Kabul, and then I follow up the University of Kabul as a Faculty of Engineering, and graduated in 1973 as an electrical engineer, and then started my career working a little bit with different ministries in Afghanistan. After the invasions, Faculty of Engineering, the political problem that created in Afghanistan, I also refuged out of Afghanistan and we settled down in Canada in 1985. And since then, I've been working at about 38 years in my profession as a technical person. And also I did a lot of volunteer work and been honored to be presented some of the boards in my careers, being a member of some board in different organizations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My next question will be that in addition to the cultural shock as a newcomer to Canada, did you experience any kind of racism or discrimination or even Islamophobic remarks and comments in the workplace or in the community where you are living?
As you mentioned, this a triangle of evils has been global, and fortunately, I should say that I did not face any sort of episode in my life to be personally exposed. But of course, I know and I can realize there is a lot of elements of all these discrimination, hate, and also Islamophobia in this country, all over, even in our motherlands, everywhere. But the problem is that how we should tackle, and we have to be aware of this and try to like make ourselves ready for if something happen that we can discuss later on this issue. But the point is that I already listened to some of these comments, which is, I mean, while I working in my experience working as a technical person in the industry, there is a lot of comments. Some of them are really serious. Some of them you have to, I mean, ignore them. There is no way that, but unfortunately, I did not report any of those incidents. I will come to, probably I will say some of the memory that I have maybe later in this.
Well, thank you.
Programs. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think we perhaps, you and I, we are of the lucky ones that we didn't experience a severe form of it. And if there was anything minor, we just, in my case also, I have just ignored it and even tried to educate those people when they showed some kind of bias or hatred towards not just us, but any people. In addition to being a volunteer and active in the communities, you worked professionally in your own profession as a technical person with one of the big automotive companies here in Canada. And what I wanted to know was if you experienced, anything in the workplace in this regard, or if you heard if in the workplace this thing was existing or some other people experienced it?
I think that's a good question. In my almost 25 years of my career with the automotive industry, I was dealing with 2 or 3 levels of the people. The first, the management, or they are mostly educated peoples. They have always been very like what they call it in terms of relation. They always be respectful and never been any comment in front of your face. The second level that I was been with them, mostly the technical group that we were actually involved with between the 2 layers, between the management as well as the people on the line and the line workers. There is, of course, I mean, inside between this middle level, you could see some sort of feeling of discrimination, because this group, there has always been, if the person who is, for example, one of the English-speaking person, he gives some preference to some of those people, which was like they can communicate with them closely compared to others. Because we were also a group of mixed people. For example, we've been from Asia, from Africa, from West Europe. I mean, different group of peoples. But in reality, there was a little bit of feeling that, of course, there was some biasness. But while coming to the action, of course, there was no choice to have, because everyone was supposed to do his job according to their profession or capability. But while coming to the third group of the people which was on the line, of course, those people consist of different type of level of people in the society. Some of them are like semi-educated, some of them are, for example, high school educated, and some was also college people that working in the line. Of course, one of the point that the management always try to keep very like a peaceful atmosphere in the environment. But of course, there was some element of disturbances in terms of hate, and also some sort of, I mean, some comments which was not fair to some peoples. Like, for example, they called names. Some people like names which I do not want to call it, like it's the name, or like they were saying that these Muslims are let them to go in a clothes and bend themselves. I mean, I heard comment or talks like this, which is really you feel bad about. But what to do about those people? Because we cannot face those unless you have to go to the. I personally went to the manager of the line or the supervisor of the line, and I say that inform these people that this is not the way that they are talking. I mean, they should be educated. I mean, the people who are working in this situation, everyone has the right to have in a very calm and healthy situation. With all this, you're creating some animosity, sometimes of disturbance and stuff like that. It was not actually to me, because I just tell you once that he was one of the person from Asia, and they tried to name him and call him. And probably he was a little bit of shy person, that he was never reacted. But while he coming to us and say that people saying like this, I said, you should not take it easy. It's much better that you should report this instance. Like the only two things that you can do, that you should inform the management. They are the power that they can stop all this. Well, to make it short, there has always been this sort of comments in the society. But this is one of the reasons that I felt that beside my technical background, which I have to do some work as a social person, to socialize with people and try to do something which I can capable of that.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. You are a member of the board of the Afghan Association of Ontario and the vice president of the board also. And by the way, I thank you as a member of the board, as the vice president, and also the Afghan Association of Ontario for initiating this program, because I was just looking at some statistics from 2 weeks ago that Statistics Canada had published. And they said the statistics were saying that since 2020, that means in 2 years, there has been a rise in the reported hate crimes. 68% increase on the average increase in the reported hate crimes. Obviously, there are many that have not been reported. So the actual figure might be more. I don't know statistically how that be affected, but they had also broken it down into it, and they said there was 72% increase in hate crimes against Muslims, 68% rise in reported hate crimes against Jewish people, and 64% rise in hate crimes against Catholics.
Catholics too, yeah.
Which was surprising, because I thought the Catholics were part of the mainstream, but obviously something like that happened. So having said that, does the board of the Afghan Association have any kind of policy, or are they planning to have a policy in place in order to do several things? First, to reduce the impact of this increase in hate crimes on the community. And second, if there is any kind of policy or collaboration with other groups, an educational program or an awareness program in addition to what we are doing here, so that the mainstream community as well as the minority communities become aware of this kind of increase, and then to take certain actions to mitigate it, to eliminate it from our lives.
Well, before I talking about the policies of the Board of Directors of the Afghan Association of Ontario, I just want a brief touch about the existing or establishment of the Afghan Associations since 1994, which is 38 years since then. The Afghan Association has always been trying to unite the people. In other words, make a cohesive or cohesion between the community member as well as to the rest of the communities that we are living in a multicultural society. We have to have a relation with those and learn from each other. I mean, AAO has helped a lot of people in terms of a lot of Afghans to bring from abroad, from the situation where in the past. And also even now they try to bring some peoples and helping peoples in terms of immigrating in this country to be, safe in terms of all those happening or political happening which happen in Afghanistan. But coming to the policies, yes, we always try to, we know that the situation has changed. At one time we have newsletters, we have radio programs and also TV programs. But lately, all these is in a way that it has become different in terms of technology is changing, the information, the system of information is also changing. We realized that instead of like right now, at the moment, the policy of the board is that we should consider to all these situations for the vulnerable peoples of our community as elders or newcomers, or for example, some youth. Because the way that you mentioned about these statistic in terms of this triangle of evil, that's true that there is a lot of victims which we in the community unfortunately do not have enough equipment to deal with. The only thing that we can reach by, like, it's very hard to reach personally. The only thing that we tried to reach was one of these benefit of the programs that the government of Canada is provide us. So as you know, that one of the program that right now we are working against these hate and criminals and all these in terms of the platform of the media, in terms of the internet, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all these information that we try to disseminate, or in other words, in order to give to the community, is just to be awareness. And we try to inform that there is a situation that you can talk with us. If there is like something, you should not hide it. It should be open. Come with us. Come to us. We are help here. That's why we try to. We are not in the position to help everyone, but we are. The way that this program runs, I think I was very impressed with the interview that Mr. Taha did, and also that Jose Halim. These are all the information, very useful information, that this is one of the objective of our role is that as a member of the community to give this information to the public, that they should be aware of these problems, and there is some problems that they should be tackled. And if there is a need, they can contact us or contact the proper organization. Like I was witness that you have also interviewed two of the officer that both of them was working in terms of these crime preventions. And these organization is usually as for this to take all these any claim or any incident which happened, and they try to make it as a record. And as far as we record all these, the more we record this, the more we inform the authorities or even our organization, we will be successful to make or force the government of Canada to make new policies and help in terms of better way to prevent all this. If I go a little further, some of these, triangle of evil is because of the problem that sometimes the media is creating. So I was like, one time I was witness one of the war refugees in Ukraine. And I noticed that the people in Ukraine is everyone rushing to go into the train to leave the country and going to Poland. And the reporter was showing that 2 or 3% which was minority in that society, they were not let to go to the train. They said, no, you're not an Ukrainian. You cannot go here. For them, this is so bad that they such a news is coming to the media, because this is a discrimination. This is discrimination against humanity. It doesn't matter whether it is Ukrainian or it was an African or Asian descendant. These are all a human being. Everyone is trying to save his life. But coming this part of, so in that case, it shows that there were some feeling of superiority in the globe too. So that's why we have to for example, in terms of Islam, they also there are things coming in the media which really hurt before people knowing the exact directive of some religion, they try to destroy it. These are also it has to be avoided, and we are try our best to convince government of Canada that all these incidents which is happening should be recorded, and we should work toward to decrease all this number, because it is a little bit over 50%, as you said, and especially in Islamophobia, which is about 72%, which is really is outrage at this position or at this point. We have to do work together, and I will request our community that if they are facing situation like this, the door of the Afghan Association of Ontario is open. You can reach it by email, you can reach it by telephone call, or you can reach it by visiting our office. For every member, we are willing to take you to the proper channel to be, in other words, to be safe and secure.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is very important. I would like to ask the viewers to pay attention to what Mr. Bayat just mentioned, and also based on the interview that we had with the law enforcement officers a few weeks ago, and they said that whenever you are faced with a hate situation, try to collect as many documentations and records safely. The safety is very important. Don't try to become a hero or a vigilante. If it is safe, collect all the information and documentation and then report it. The more events are reported, the government usually uses statistics to shape policies for or against certain things. So the more information becomes available, the more all the cases that happen don't go under the carpet, but they are reported, the better the chance the government will have to shape the policy that is proportionate to the size of the crisis and the problem that is available. Mr. Bayat, if I may ask, I think that the biggest, in terms of Islamophobia, the biggest group of victims are the women, Muslim women who have visible expressions of being a Muslim, like wearing a hijab.
Wearing it.
Okay, so what will be your suggestion? What can they do in that if they are faced with this situation, with a hate situation, with discrimination, racist comments, or Islamophobic comments? What can you do in addition to being reported?
I think you're absolutely right. I totally agree with you that most of these Islam ladies or Muslim ladies that they are wearing hijab, sometimes they are victim. They are under the comments of some people, which is, I mean, whether knowingly or unknowingly, they try to harass them. I think that one of the best thing is that they have the right. I mean, in this society, they have the right to practice any way that they like to have their religion, and no one has the right to intervene or say anything bad against the woman which he is wearing a hijab. But the most important is that we said, especially, I mean, Hosai Halim mentioned, Ms. Solaya Halim mentioned that these ladies has the right to defend themselves, and as you said, they should, whenever they face situation, they should take all documentation. They should record all this, and they should approach proper channels, even to the community, to the organization, which is already for this purposes, and even the police. So they are all help for them to do this, but they are very respectful part of the society, and we know that they are quite talented. Most of them are so talented that, in some instances, I should say, in my experience, that a lot of time the ladies has done the job much better than a young kid, which in the same level. So in terms of their hard work, their capability, their talent, I think they are very respectful part of the society that has to be respected. I mean, I really feel sorry if something happened to them without any report. They should be aware of their right, and they should proper step to go to the proper channel.
Yeah. So some of the people that I interviewed, they were saying that organizations, they can come together, especially the Muslim community is very scattered and they have so many organizations. If these organizations can come together and create a kind of a coordinating committee or something like that to monitor and can do two things actually. One of them is to educate Muslim individuals on an individual basis to be more powerful, to be stronger, so they can resist any kind of bullying or innuendos or hate comments or something like that. This will be one way that they can help. The other way is to educate the mainstream community about the negative impact that this kind of hatred or racism will leave on the community. As when they were this year, a couple of months ago, when they were remembering what happened to the Afzal family in London, the
Right.
Prime Minister of Canada, in his speech there, he mentioned that, this kind of hatred and Islamophobia in Canada does not just hurt the Muslims or the vulnerable people. It hurts the whole Canadian population.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. I'm not quoting him directly, but the impression that I got from him. And in that respect, because it's affecting all of us, I think it is incumbent upon all of us to be active in this area and to make sure that people who knowingly or unknowingly act in a way that is detrimental, act in a way that is racist in nature, or it is discriminatory in nature, or it's Islamophobic, or it's anti-Semitic, or whatever, all those hatred-related issues, that we make them aware of it. And perhaps there is more education in that respect. The issue will dwindle. It will become less hazardous in the community. So you as
I just want to add one thing that, like, sometimes these criminals, which happen, like, for examples in the world, even in New Zealand, in Quebec, in some places, and even in Canada, and United States, the business, most often they are giving some warning, like in terms of the warning by email or by thread, by Facebook. I mean, this is up to the Islamic organizations, all these, that they should not take it, these ones, like simple. I mean, they should not take it easy. They must be very, be very cautious. The moment such a thing is happening, some warning is coming that we do this or that, or it started to be, like, in terms of disseminating some information or pamphlets, stuff like this, they must be keep informed the authorities, and this is one way that they can stop all these criminals ahead of time. And coming to your point, Mr. Droney, that it is true that if the Islamic organization here in Canada is initiating this, that they should bring all this together, that from time to time that we should have sitting together. Today we can have conference maybe through the, Zooming. And this is quite helpful that we can tackle a lot of problem in this manner.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Bayat. You answered my last question that I was going to ask. So you already answered it. I will not take your time doing it. I think our program comes to an end. At the end, usually what I do is I want to make an acknowledgement of our sponsors. So I would like to share this screen with our audience.
Sure.
And to mention that this program is an initiative of the Afghan Association of Ontario in collaboration with the Government of Canada, and the Government of Canada is partially funding this program, and we thank them. And also, I would like to say that, yes, the Jewish community has a group called B'nai B'rith, and they not only do a lot of other community services to the Jewish community. They also monitor any kind of hatred that exists against the Jewish people. The Catholic Church in Canada also has a monitoring organization that monitor anti-Catholic hate in the community. And I call upon the Muslim organizations and the Council of the Imams and all other social services organizations to rise to the occasion and try to create that kind of a monitoring institution or a monitoring group so that it can combat Islamophobia, racism, and discrimination, and at the same time have some kind of educational programs to educate the Muslim community, individuals. Like if every Muslim rises to the occasion to be a good ambassador for Islam and what Islam stands for, all the pluses and the positives that Islam has, and they become ambassadors for it in the community and in the mainstream, I think it will go a long way to reduce Islamophobia in the country. And at the same time, if this group can create educational programs through social media, through news media, and other forums that are available nowadays at the disposal of every organization, and educate, the mainstream Canadian community about what is nowadays referred to as the unconscious bias that might exist. Obviously, the issue of hatred is not a mainstream issue. It is an issue with a small minority of fanatics who create this situation. But the more we educate the community, the less and less that fanatic group will become, the smaller they will become. So in that respect, I think we can do a lot. And yes, please, your last word.
I think 1 minute, Mr. Durrani, that we have already, it's not this is the only program. We have also a program for the seniors, which is the same thing as mentoring all these vulnerable groups that they should be educated. And we set a platform in terms of the social media, which they helping each other, and also youth will be also involved. And meanwhile, I'm working in another project. Hopefully I take the fund, which is called Hate Security Fund, which I hope if we get it, we try to, involve most of our community. And I request our community to participate in these programs as well as they can. If they have any problem or any question, the door is open. You can reach me anytime and any day of the week and month. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bayat, for your time and for your insights that you shared with me and with our viewers and with the community. This program, the recording will stay on the Afghan Association of Ontario page as well as on my personal timeline, and we will be uploading the recording to the Afghan Association of Ontario's YouTube channel, and you can watch it there also. Please share this on your social media pages and let your friends know about it. There were some golden nuggets that we got from Mr. Bayat here, and we talked about some nuggets from other people that we had interviewed. So it will be very beneficial if more people become aware of it. Thank you very much. Until next Wednesday, we will have another session in this regard. Have a nice time.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice day.